Hi everyone. Imagine this, you and your loved one, both young and carefree, searching tirelessly for a perfect place to call home. After what feels like an eternity of looking at unsuitable apartments, you stumble upon something, a beautiful, spacious room in a charming house at a surprisingly low price. It feels too good to be true. And maybe, just maybe, it is. That's the story I'm about to share today. It's about a friend of mine who, during her college years, encountered something in her new rental that she could never have imagined. Trust me, this story will make you think twice about that perfect apartment listing. It all started when my friend and her boyfriend were on the hunt for a room to rent. They spent days, maybe even weeks, searching but couldn't find anything that suited them. Then one day, they stumbled upon a large 3-story house in District 3. It was exactly what they wanted, spacious, clean, and in a beautiful location. And the rent? Unbelievably affordable. They met the owners, negotiated the details, and soon enough, the two of them were ready to move in. On moving day, my friend noticed an elderly lady sitting in a wheelchair near the entrance. She thought it was the landlord's mother, and didn't ask any questions. "Who is that?" she asked the landlady casually. "Oh, that's just my grandmother," the landlady replied with a smile. "Don't worry, she doesn't stay here. I just bring her over sometimes." The landlady had told her she'd stop by every day to clean, but otherwise, no one else lived there. My friend wasn't concerned. After all, the place was a steal. The first day went smoothly. My friend went about her business, and when she returned home, the old lady was still sitting silently in her wheelchair. "Good evening." My friend greeted her, but received no response. Maybe she's hard of hearing, she thought, brushing it off as she headed up the stairs to their new room. There was a small shrine on the first floor, just next to her room, but she didn't think much of it. That night, as she showered, she heard a knock on the door. She hurried downstairs, expecting the landlady, but no one was there. She shrugged it off, thinking she must have imagined it. Later, as she was lying on the bed watching TV, she heard footsteps, someone going up and down the stairs. She peeked out to check, but there was no one there. "Did you hear that?" she whispered to her boyfriend, who was on the phone with her. "Hear what?" "Footsteps, going up and down the stairs. But there's no one here." "Maybe it's the landlady," he suggested. "She said she wouldn't be staying here," my friend replied, a hint of unease creeping into her voice. It struck her as odd, but she tried to dismiss the thought. The following night, things got stranger. My friend went to bed, but woke in a cold sweat from a dream where someone had opened her bedroom door. "Did you hear that?" she gasped, shaking her boyfriend awake. "What is it?" he mumbled, half asleep. "The door. It opened in my dream, but it felt so real." She looked around, trembling. Everything was quiet, and the door was shut. Terrified, she stayed awake until dawn. On the third night, she returned late after a date with her boyfriend. She noticed something different as soon as she entered. The air was heavy, cold. And the old lady? Nowhere in sight. "Where is she?" she muttered, her heart pounding as she scanned the room. Suddenly, she felt a chill go down her spine. "Something's not right," she whispered to herself, summoning all her courage. She sprinted up the stairs, and there at the top, she was met by an image that would haunt her forever. The old lady, sitting right in the shrine, her eyes wide open, staring straight at her from within the picture frame. "Oh my God!" she screamed, bolting into her room and locking the door behind her. She fumbled for her phone and called her boyfriend. "Babe, you need to come over right now," she cried, her voice shaking. "What's going on?" he asked, concern evident in his voice. "The old lady. She's in the shrine. She's staring at me from the picture." My friend could barely get the words out. "Okay, listen to me," he said, trying to stay calm. "Keep the lights on. Play some music. I'm coming over first thing in the morning, I promise. Just try to stay calm, okay?" That night was the longest of her life. Every creak, every whisper of wind, seemed to grow louder, as if someone or something was moving about the house. She could hear footsteps, deliberate and slow, climbing up and down the stairs. "Is that you?" she whispered into the darkness, her voice barely audible. She turned on her laptop and video called her boyfriend. "Are you okay?" he asked as soon as he saw her face. "No. I keep hearing those footsteps again," she said, tears welling in her eyes. "I'm here, okay? I'm not going anywhere. Just stay on the line with me." He stayed on the line with her, his eyes scanning the room from his side of the screen, doing his best to keep her calm until she finally fell asleep. Morning came, and true to his word, her boyfriend arrived at dawn. "Pack your things," he said urgently as soon as he saw her. "What's going on?" she asked, still shaken. "We need to leave. Now." "Why?" she pressed, confused. He finally admitted what he had seen through the video call. The old lady's face, right behind her, staring into the camera, her expression twisted into something that was neither alive nor dead. "I saw her, babe. She was right behind you, staring into the camera. We can't stay here any longer." My friend felt her stomach turn. She thought of the eerie dreams, the footsteps, the knocks, and now, the twisted expression of the old lady. It was all too much. She quickly packed her things, her hands trembling as she stuffed clothes into her bag. Her boyfriend stayed close, watching every corner of the room, as if expecting the old lady to reappear at any moment. "Hurry up," he urged, his voice tense. "We need to get out of here before anything else happens." As they made their way down the stairs, every creak seemed amplified. My friend felt her heart pounding in her chest, each beat echoing in her ears. The house seemed darker than usual, the shadows longer and more menacing. Just as they reached the front door, they heard it again, footsteps on the stairs. Slow, deliberate, coming closer. "Don't look back," her boyfriend whispered, his grip tightening on her arm. "Just keep moving." They rushed out of the house, slamming the door behind them. As they stood outside, catching their breath, my friend looked up at the window of their room. For a split second, she thought she saw a figure, an old lady, watching them from behind the curtains. She blinked, and the figure was gone. "Did you see that?" she asked, her voice barely a whisper. Her boyfriend shook his head. "Let's just go." They got into the car, and as they drove away, my friend couldn't shake the feeling that they were being watched. She kept glancing at the rearview mirror, half expecting to see the old lady's face staring back at her from the back seat. Once they were far enough away, her boyfriend finally spoke. "We need to tell someone about that place. There's something seriously wrong with it." "But who would believe us?" my friend replied, her voice trembling. "It sounds insane. An old lady's ghost haunting a rental house? People will think we're making it up." "I don't care if they think we're crazy. We need to warn others. No one should have to go through what you did." Over the next few days, my friend stayed with her boyfriend, too scared to be alone. They contacted the landlady, telling her they were moving out immediately. The landlady seemed unfazed, almost as if she had expected it. "Are you sure you want to leave so soon?" she asked, her tone oddly calm. "Yes," my friend replied firmly. "We can't stay there any longer." The landlady sighed. "All right. Just leave the keys in the mailbox." That was it. No questions, no arguments. It was almost as if she knew what had happened, but didn't want to acknowledge it. A week later, my friend heard from another student who had moved into the same house. The student mentioned strange occurrences, footsteps at night, doors creaking open on their own, and the feeling of being watched. My friend knew then that it wasn't just her imagination. The old lady was still there, haunting the house, waiting for her next victim. "I should have warned them," she told her boyfriend, guilt evident in her voice. "You tried," he reassured her. "It's not your fault. Some places are just wrong." Even now, my friend can't forget the image of the old lady's face staring at her from the picture frame. It haunts her dreams, a constant reminder of the terror she felt in that house. She still wonders who the old lady was, why she was there, and what she wanted. But some questions are better left unanswered. Thanks so much for listening to this story. If you enjoyed it, please like the video and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any of our upcoming stories. Trust me, you won't want to miss what we have coming next. There are plenty more eerie and mysterious tales to share. Stay tuned, and stay safe.